how to sing like yourself, if you want to do that, then I recommend that you watch this video in its entirety and not just a little piece of it. Because the number one thing that you need in order to sing like yourself and like nobody else is to harness your attention and be the one that is in charge of what you pay attention to and how long you pay attention to it based on how long you want to do that. And so the first thing that a singer needs to sound like himself is control over his own attention span and attention. You need to be the one in charge of that. Okay, so that said, I recommend you watch this video in its entirety so that you can get the information that you need, so that you can sing like you and like nobody else. The first thing to know is that every singer in the world has role models. There were singers that they listened to that influenced the way that they thought of singing as. So every singer is influenced by other singers. And so that's the number one thing, is to find out the top 3 or top 4 or top 5 singers that you listened to as you were coming of age, as you were growing up. And you'll notice that your idea of what good singing is or what singing is influenced by who these people were, these singers were. Okay? So that's the first thing. The second thing is to know where you come from, where you're from, where did you grow up, and then also what was your family like, and what role did you play in it? What kind of personality did your psyche kind of adopt and absorb? Are you an extroverted person or are you an introverted person? In school, were you more outgoing or were you more to yourself? So that's going to influence also the way that you sound. The other thing is what are your likes and dislikes, knowing yourself. Every singer out there that has a sound that is coveted by many others has a full life, a full spectrum, they're a member of a family, and they're in an order in that family, and they have a certain relationship with their mom and with their dad, and they have certain interests and passions, and they have, like I said before, influences, and all of that started to shape things. So if you grew up singing in church and you had solos, your voice is probably going to be huge and loud. But if you grew up, listening to singers on the radio when you were sad because of stuff that was going on in your house or going through school, then you were going through at school, you were listening to singers, and their voices were soothing you or kind of inspiring you or giving you hope or keeping you, afloat in life. And all those messages got really encoded deep inside of you, and that really shapes the way that you think of singing. The other thing is, the kind of lyrics that move you. And were the singers that you listening to writing their own songs? Were they singer-songwriters? Or were they more interpreters of other songs? And also the genre that you like to listen to. Was it more upbeat? Was it more ballad? So knowing all of these things about yourself will give you a clear picture on what you want to sing and how you want to sing. Now, all that said, you don't want to imitate any of your idols. You probably have, and when you sing, you're probably trying to sound like them, especially in the beginning stages of, learning to sing. But eventually, you kind of want to ditch that and find out, what combination of voices, the mixture of all of those influences did for you. And I think one of the best ways to sing like yourself and not like anyone else is to stop singing other people's songs and to stop listening to the radio for a little while and to take some time, just some time, to go off to the side and sing vocal exercises. These vocal exercises, they're neutral. They sound, you've never heard anyone do them before, ideally. So it would be singing the, none of your favorite singers, you've probably heard them do that. So when you have to do that, then you'll have to figure out how that sounds in your particular and unique voice. That slide. Does it sound shy? Does it sound loud? Does it sound somewhere in between? Does it sound husky? Does it sound clear? Does it sound breathy? How does it sound? And then that starts to give you clues on the way that your voice is kind of sitting and the way that it has developed. Because everything that you've done, the things that you eat and your sleeping habits and how much water you drink, it all affects your voice and it makes it particular. So listen to the singers that you grew up singing to. Did their voices have vibrato? Did they riff a lot? Did they sing pretty straight? Did they sound, nasal? Did they sound deep? All of those things started to color the way that you started to sing. Singing is so broad, right? So the first thing you probably heard was, when you were a baby, people singing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star in their own voices. That's another hint. How do your parents sound, their voices, their speaking voices? And can they sing? And does that influence your idea of whether you can sing or not? It's all about really knowing yourself and not trying to be someone else. And to be yourself, the best thing you can do is to take some time to just be introspective and ask questions about where you come from. How old were you when you fell in love with singing? What kind of singers did you fall in love with? Were they pop singers? Were they rock singers? Were they musical theater singers? Were they opera singers? All of these questions, right? And then that starts to shape the way that you think of as singing. Do you want to sing a single genre? Do you want to sing multiple genres? Were you eclectic in your preferences? Were all the sounds that you liked similar? Can you help but sound like a musical theater singer? Or can you help but sound like a rock singer? Or can you help but to sound like a R&B singer or a soul singer or a gospel singer? You'll notice, celebrities that grew up singing in church sound very big if they had solos, right? And you'll notice that those that felt like the underdog growing up and, were kind of more introverted have a distinct sound that's more intimate, So if you grew up singing in a studio where you could hear yourself singing because you have headphones and anything that would come out of your mouth would immediately sound huge in yourself, then that's going to make your voice be a certain way. And, what if you grew up listening to rock stars that scream and that's part of what you think singing is, then that's a whole other can of worms that you have to explore. And then once you get clear on all of this, hopefully then you want to really develop some time, not develop some time to develop your voice and to make it richer and just expand its range and its strength so that you can do these things effectively and efficiently. Because yes, we all start out singing through imitating other singers that we look up to. But at some point, we have to stop that and find out who we are so that we can bring something new to the table. Because we already have all of those pop stars and all of those famous singers that we've heard. Are you a dancer that sings as you dance? Or are you just more someone that stands up there and sings? What kind of singer, what kind of person are you? What kind of personality are you? All of that. You, like what your story is and what your passion is and what your love of singing is all about and what sounds you consider to be appealing and desirable. That's how you shape, the vision of the kind of vocalist that you want to be, the kind of singer that you want to be. Not by listening to all the singers and trying to chase, the thing that they're good at. But define who you are and what you're good at. And hopefully this information helps you to find out how to sing, not like fill in the blank pop star, but how to sing like you. And then young people will be looking at videos, wanting to teach them how to sing like you, because no one's ever done that before. You know, the singers who like sing in falsetto a lot, did they sing in chest voice a lot? Did they sing in a more conversational voice a lot? Did they have big ranges? Did they have small ranges? Was it more rhythmic? You know I'm throwing a million questions and I'm kind of repeating myself, but it's really important that you ask these things of yourself so that you know who you are and you know where you stand in this whole singing thing. So if this was helpful and if you want to cultivate and develop your voice, I have many videos by now on my channel that will help you achieve all of those goals that you have of improving your voice and getting more range and just having more accuracy and just becoming a much better you, a much better singer that sounds like you and not like anybody else. Because that's what we're hungry for. Something fresh, something new, something unique. And the good news is you are something fresh, something new, and something unique because there's no one else like you. So that's my recommendation. Vocal exercises, some soul searching, turning off the radio and stopping listening to things so that you have some time. If you can become friends with someone who plays an instrument, or if you play an instrument, it's another question. Did your favorite singer play an instrument or not? Accompanying yourself and taking time to write your own melodies, even if it's no lyrics. Da 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 da, da 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 da. I have no idea where that came from, but that's the melody that came to me. What melody comes to you? Just don't imitate mine. Just improvise it and accompany yourself if you know how to, or make friends with someone who does, and just start to discover who you are rather than trying to imitate somebody else. It's okay to be inspired by someone. It's even okay to be influenced by someone. In fact, it's unavoidable. But what's not okay is to try to be someone else, because that's a waste of the unique self that you are. So if this was helpful, give me a thumbs up, and you could also subscribe to my channel because I will keep posting videos to help you become a better you singer. All right, take care, and I'll see you next time.